Hi, it's Lisa Cuneo, and welcome to my scrapbook table. It is Sunday, so that means we are scraplifting. The whole crew is scraplifting this layout that you see in the bottom corner there by Mari Ponciano. I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly. I'm sorry if I did not. Here's a closer look at it. There is so much going on in this, so many interesting little tidbits. Mine is not going to be quite that interesting because I'm just not good at putting that many things together. But I did use some frames and a rainbow and a tag, some stickers, and all those strips at the bottom there. Here's the two photos I'm using. Emily showing a little friend how to knit. And I have been saving this from Some Assemblage Required for just the right layout. And this is it. So I'm going to tuck that over there. These papers are from Pink Fresh Studio. And I believe the collection is called Happy Heart. I bought a couple pieces of paper and these stickers and the die cuts from the table, the for sale table at a crop I was at a while ago. Somebody local had signed up for a class where you got a bunch of supplies and then did the class online. And this was her leftovers. And so I'm excited to use those. I also have this from Colorcast Designs. It says Happy Day, and that's going to be my title. The background paper there is a map background from 49 and Market. It is not going to matter because the vast majority of that is going to be covered up. I stitched these two rainbows using this template from Some Assemblage Required. And here is my new favorite little thing. It is a needle threader. I struggle so much to thread needles, and that has been a game changer. $5 or $6 on Amazon. Wonderful little invention. I end up not using the bigger rainbow. There just wasn't room for it. So I will save that for another project. But the little one works nicely to go with this layout. So I decided to mat the photos first on white and then put them both on the pink paper. I feel like I revert to this a lot when I'm not sure what to do. I had done the stitching and cut out the strips for the bottom of this layout probably 3 weeks ago. But then we've just been really busy. We had some company. We had to make a couple unexpected trips to Pittsburgh. My brother got hurt. He's doing better now, but we wanted to see him. And in the middle of all that, we went to a big church event in Sevierville, Tennessee. And so there's just been a lot going on, and I have not scrapped in about 3 weeks. And it's always hard for me to get back in the groove after I have been away from my scrapbook table for a while. So I just tend to do this with photos when I don't know what else to do. There was only one in the original, but I wanted both of these. One's a little closer, and they're not the best photos because of the bright light that was coming through the windows behind them, but that's okay. So there were some frames in the original, and I pulled out these two frames from 49 and Market Spectrum Sherbet, I believe. This one was a little too bright, so I just toned down the pink with this ink. It is unicorn white ink from Hero Arts. I've had it for ages and it still works. It's not juicy. I don't know that it would work very well to stamp with it, but it works well for what I use it for. So in looking at Mari's layout, it seems like she had wider strips of patterned paper for the first layer and then narrower ones to go on top of that. So I have that done here. I went ahead. I did distress all those edges. I didn't have you watch that. And then I decided it looked like they were kind of mostly the same height at the top. So I just decided I was going to go through and cut them. So I just used my ruler and a bone folder to make a little crease where I wanted to cut them. And I trimmed those off. And most of that's going to be covered up anyway, so I wasn't really concerned about being perfectly straight. And now that's going to sit on top of there. And as always, I cut the frames in half to use them. I wonder how many times I've actually used a frame as is. Not very many. I end up... Yeah, that one stays there. This pink one goes on the right, or left, but not exactly there. And the other one gets put on the right, but it's almost completely covered up. You can barely see any of it. But that's okay. That's how layering works. And you have to be willing. I have learned over the years that if layering is going to look like layering, you have to be willing to cover stuff up. And I have plenty of scrapbook things to play with, so it is perfectly fine to cover up some stuff. I also used this glassine bag. Again, I'm not sure why, because hardly any of it shows. Just a little bit. But it's there. It's fine. I decided to use that little bit of a green at the top for some journaling. And then I start sorting through flowers. I'm going to use some on both sides of the photos. I end up with some at the top right and bottom left. That butterfly tag that you see at the top, I trim it down a little bit so that it will fit nicely on the left side of the photo. I also have these two florals from it. I did not like the color of the leaf. It just stuck out to me like a sore thumb, so I just cut them off. I wouldn't have minded a soft pale green leaf, and it probably would have been nice to have that, but that bluey green just didn't seem quite right. So I added a piece of washi tape there at the top. I didn't want the words, but I wanted that green color because she had that. Hers is on the right in the original, but I wanted something more toward the left. And then, unfortunately, this got slid up, and you can't see the top right now, but you'll see it in the still shots that are coming up at the end. In the description box below, you will find a link to the original creators' Instagram account, and also a link to the playlist for Scraplift Crafternoon, so you'll be able to go and see what the other Scraplift Crafternoon people have created. I encourage you to do that. I think I try to always watch everyone's layout for the week because I find it fascinating how we all start with the same original piece that we are using as inspiration, and our work is so different. And it's fun to see how that happens. So I wasn't sure about that pink butterfly. It's a little too pink, I think, but it ends up fine. And I needed a butterfly over there because I have those on the right, or on the left. So I just felt better having a butterfly on the right. I popped up the wings on the far right a little bit. And let's see. What else do I do? This layout took me a long time. Mainly because I just wasn't back in scrapbook mode, I guess. So I had an hour of footage, and that doesn't even count the stuff I did off when I didn't have the camera on, which was a lot. So I really cut this down and sped it up. I do have some little stickers here from Simple Stories, I think Indigo Garden? I'm pretty sure that's what the collection was called. The little heart stickers have just been in my stash for ages. And then I realized, oh, I had not glued down the title. So I go ahead and do that. Adding another little yellow butterfly on the left. Then I had these little tab pieces, so I separated them. I put this little yellow bit at the top and the word delightful right under there. I also did some journaling off camera. I think you'll see that in the still shots. Now I am using up a ton of enamel dots. I think 20 of them. That's a lot. I'm really happy about that. I also used a couple self-adhesive brads from Simple Stories. And the last thing I did was use this little crosshatch stamp from a Simple Stories travel set. The original had stitching there, and I just decided to stamp. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm really happy that you're here today. I'm happy to be back at my scrapbook table. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you're new here, welcome. I hope you'll come back. Thanks everyone for watching. Have a great day. And I hope that you get to scrapbook something of your own very soon. Bye-bye.